You guys ready for this one?
Yes.
Sexual harassment investigation launched into 3 middle schoolers' wrong use of pronouns. They were charged under Title IX, according to the school, these 3 kids, because they refused to say they, them. One kid actually stood up. He says, quote, she had been screaming at one of Brandon's friends to use proper pronouns, calling him a profanity. And his friend is very soft-spoken and kind of just sunk down into his chair. Braden finally came up defending him, saying he doesn't have to use proper pronouns. It's his constitutional right to not use. You can't make him say things.
Snap.
So apparently these kids were in trouble. The mom found out. This is in Wisconsin. They're saying that because the kids refused to use the pronouns, they're getting heavily penalized. We also know the FBI is investigating parents who are opposing this stuff. It was who was it? I'm forgetting who tweeted this.
Jack Posobiec, maybe?
I'm forgetting the guy's first name. McIntyre.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Man, sorry, forgetting your name, dude. He tweeted that the soft power they use to bring this stuff into schools will become hard power.
This is what this
And
is.
I'm like, it is hard power. They are going to the kids. They're screaming at them, swearing at them. And if the kid's like, I'm not going to say it, then they get charged. So I don't know what that means when they said they were charging them. Apparently, the news says an investigation. Let me read. They filed a complaint against them. An investigation was launched. A Title IX complaint was filed against them. So what does that mean? She says, I received a call from the principal letting me know that I was going to be receiving an email with sexual harassment allegations against my son. She says the investigating said he's allegedly charged with sexual harassment for not using proper pronouns. So this is what I'm saying. Look, if anybody says this word is offensive and you have to use this word, I'll say that word's offensive to me. So how about I use this word, which is neither, and we'll call them blows. Bloaf. You're a bloaf.
Also, keep in mind, these are the people.
Flib.
These are the people who are saying that groomer is a needlessly harsh term to describe adults insisting upon having secret sexual conversations with children. Then they turn around and say not using someone's pronoun is sexual harassment.
Dude, these kids are national heroes that stood up to this. I don't know what the situation is around, if there was a fight beforehand, if part of this is because there was violence involved. I really don't know the whole story, but you cannot bully people into using your language in this country.
Well, apparently you can.
You can try, but it's going to get national attention and you're going to look like the bad guy for doing it.
I hope so.
You
I
guys
hope
ever
you're
heard
right.
of Spaghetti Gate?
No.
They have language police in France. So in France.
I was
And
gonna say Canada.
I'm pretty sure they do, but I meant Canada. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to say French-speaking Canada. There you go. Correction.
Is that Quebecois?
So in,
Yes.
I think it was in Montreal, you have to have at all the stores, French is the big word, and then English is small. So they're like language police, make sure. And there was an Italian restaurant selling spaghetti, and they got fined because they were like, you didn't put the French word. And they were like, spaghetti? So like that, they're the bad guys. Like when you're trying to tell people you have to speak a certain way, you have to use certain words, you typically it is frowned upon, right?
Yeah, big time.
I don't know if it's like just me or if it seems like they're coming so hard after kids. Like even with the video game stuff, it's like, leave the kids alone. Why do you care? It's like at this point I'm like, don't make me tap the sign. Like people are like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? It's like, don't make me tap the sign. It's like everything. They're just leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone.
Remember that song that told the parents to leave? Or, hey, teachers, leave those kids alone.
Yeah. Good song.
Do you remember that one song where they said, we'll convert your children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
Good
San
too.
Francisco choir,
Yep.
gay men's choir, I think it was.
Yep.
And this is the golden rule of the left, right? Or one of the many rules. They will scoff at the idea that they're doing something, call you paranoid for thinking that they're doing something, and then a few years later they go, ha, I was doing it the whole time, as if they're cheeky or edgy. And it's like, no, we knew that. That's what we're saying. We know what you're up to. We have.
How many years ago? Was it 5 years now when Jordan Peterson we came out about that
2017?
bill? Was it
C-16.
C-16? Look what's happening here in the United States. I mean, this is people keep believing it's not going to get worse. And I'm saying to people, this is what I said, a couple weeks ago. Would you rather have a job and your kid is with groomers for 8 hours a day, or be homeless with your kid? I mean, I'm not telling you which one is the right choice. I don't have kids. I'm saying like this is basically what's happening. There are people like, I can't speak up. I can't do anything about it. I'll lose my job. My kids got to go to school, otherwise I have no one to watch them. It's like, okay, I hear you.
I
mean, the groomers have your kids, and they're doing this to them, but
I think they should come up with a system of like neighborhood homeschooling moms where like you'd have somebody, let's say, within the neighborhood, there is one or two moms that chose to not work or just stay at home. And then the kids around that neighborhood go to that mom's house and spend the day and learn. Like, the mom's already homeschooling her kids, so one or two other students is not going to make a difference, but at the same time it's going to make it easier for people to just have their kids homeschooled instead of sending them to school. Like, I don't have kids, but I feel like if I do, I'm always so busy, and so I procrastinate a lot, and all the video game and Dragon Ball. But to be honest with you, I think I have to make time to homeschool, because I just don't see myself sending my kids to this place, like, come back, mommy, I found out I'm gay. I'm like, shut up, Joshua, you're 3.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Also, you don't want to
Here's-
play video games because they haven't commented on Roe v. Wade. So
That's
you
true, you
just
can't do
put
that, yeah.
down.
Here's the important thing in this story. When the mother was asked, some say this could show Rebedo and her son are against the LGBTQ plus community. She said,
course.
not at all, not at all. My children have been raised to love everybody equally. You know what I'd say? I'd say, well, I don't know about any of that, but if this is what they're doing, I guess.
Apparently.
But not a single, you had that Matt Walsh. Was it the Matt Walsh thing on Dr. Phil?
Yes.
Where-
Yeah. So
They
good.
but they had this instance where this woman was like, we're not against the LGBT community, we're not at all, it's just our kids. It's like, dude, if that's what they're hiding behind and that's encompassed in it, then I guess if they're grooming your kids, if they're screaming at your kids, if they're using law to go after your kids, and then someone says, do you oppose the community? I'd say, doing this, yes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Joe Rogan came out about it. I have a headline from the Daily Wire that says Rogan blasts people upset about, quote, groomer term. Here's what's more important: not having people groom your effing kids under the guise of I'm an LGBTQ educator. Freaking good for
So
him.
did you guys see the viral Cenk Uygur was trending earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did a segment talking about it because I'm just like, I feel like it's bait. What Joe Rogan said was, there are groomers in schools. They're creepy weirdos. They beat it in front of kids. It happens all the time. You got kids being groomed. How many of them are hiding behind LGBTQ? So then Cenk Uygur goes, not a single person has ever, beat off in front of kids and then said they were LGBTQ, so then no one got mad. And I'm like, I don't recall Joe actually saying those things. So Cenk did this performative outrage where he said something that never happened or Joe never claimed, so that he could come out and go after him. And this is the problem. Everything that's happening is people like Cenk Uygur don't Google search these things. He didn't even look up, because there's, like, if you Google search teacher exposes and all that stuff, it's insane how many stories there are about teachers just doing these things to kids. It's nuts. And then I'm like, why would you say this? Do you want the world to be better? Do you want people to stop abusing kids? No. Let's take the LGBTQ thing and just put it aside for a minute. People abuse kids. Joe Rogan said people abuse kids. Why? Why act like that's not happening? Seriously,
Yeah.
So everybody started posting pictures of horses, I guess.
Yeah, so this is part of the problem. Like, let's say we could just completely separate these two issues out from one another, the groomer teachers from the LGBTQ issues. Even if we could do that, what the left has made abundantly clear is that if somebody is a sexual abuser, all they need to do is claim some kind of LGBTQ status, and the left will do everything they can to make sure that story is ignored, not talked about.
That reminds me of that transgender woman who went to Women's Prison. You guys see that? And then this person, Flib, got 2 women at the prison
Flibs.
pregnant.
Two flips.
flips.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think the issue is there is a cult that wants to push their religion on people. They're authoritarian about it. I don't care what your faith or ideology is, so long as you are libertarian about it. Now, you can talk about the things you like, but when it comes to the stuff with kids, adult activities with children, then it's just like, no, we don't do that here. And they're advocating for it. I'm
sure I had somebody throughout my whole life, a teacher that was gay. Like, I don't care. They didn't tell me about it. I feel like the only thing that I actually liked about when teachers told the story about their lives was the fact that I was able to, not pay attention. There's nothing going on. There's no class. I just do my own thing, text my friends. But it's like, to me, it's not relevant for my education when you tell me about your wife, your kids, or your partner or whatever. I just think that as a time of like, okay, now I get to goof off with my friends and blah blah blah. Like, it's not necessary for a child to be educated for them to know that you went hiking with your gay partner. Like, stop.
We're gonna have a couple lefties on the show next week. It's gonna be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is, we'll be like, hey, look, here's a really bad story. This book, Genderqueer, has overtly adult activities described in images. Maybe that shouldn't be for kids. And then all of these left-wing podcasters come out and they're like, you're banning books. And I'm like, okay, when they're banning books based on the ideas, I can understand that. But they're like trying to remove sexual imagery. Why are you defending these books? Why is the Washington Post, the New York Times, and all these left personas? I will love to talk to them about that.
We should get a copy of those books too, so we can show them in
I want
person.
in person.
Don't make me tap the
because
sign.
we can't show it on YouTube.
Yeah. That's
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.